Hello everybody, I hope you guys all had a beautiful Christmas and a Christmas Eve. We're back to everything now. In today's video, I want to just winterize my home without just saying Christmas everywhere. Take out all that decor and give me an elegant, thrifted, simple
look for winter.
I'm going to take down my tree and toss it in the trash, but stop, wait. Before I do that, I'm going to take apart my tree and decorate with it for winter themes in my home. So stick around for today's video and I'll show you what I came up with.
And welcome into Emily's Upcycled Home. So here's my tree. This is just the top of the tree, and I'm just getting my wire cutters here, taking apart each of the little stems that I want to save and keep. I'm gonna just cut through that wire as well because we don't need those bulbs. They didn't work. The tree is getting transformed into something new. So just piece apart each little stem that you want to keep and save them up for future Christmas crafts, or like I said, I'm going to be doing some winter upscaling in my house for today's video. So we are going to start with our table. Now I went really simple for Christmas, and I did use this runner here, and it just has like trees on it, nothing really elaborate that says Merry Christmas or anything. So I'm going to keep the runner as is, and then we're going to pull in some of these white vessels along with some brass pieces, some vintage doily to soften up every look here. Now once again, these are pieces I used throughout my home as well. And I'm just going to add a simple tree, and I think pine trees still say winter without saying Christmas. So we're just going to go ahead, add that little tree to this brass patinaed vessel. And then with the little white one, we are going to just come in with some stems and some little wooden spoons here from Hobby Lobby just to break everything up. Now, if you notice throughout my home and my decorating, I do pull in those whites, those brasses, and that wood tone and everything that I have here. Most of all my items here are thrifted except for that runner down the center. I love to thrift vintage brass as well as glass, and I just love the cute, simple, elegant look that it brings to any tablescape. Now I got these two little birds for Christmas, so we're going to incorporate these birds here using some of those sprigs of our pine tree, and I'm going to just fluff that pine tree out, tuck it into our piece here, wrapping it a little bit into that brass candle holder, and then we're going to bring in the birds because I think just birds and winter, it's just a cute combination to me, and it just brings a little softness to everything and cutesies everything up. Gonna repeat that process for the other one, adding in the extra pine tree, and then come in with the bird as well. Now I like the berries and the little pine cones here because you see those out in nature as is. So we're just bringing in that natural nature element with these pieces too, and let it speak winter, elegance, and that's what I'm going for. All thrifted, you guys, so go out and source. Items do not need to be new to be beautiful and bring your home a beautiful look and tone that you're going for. Simple winter elegance here. That's my theme, so let me know if I pulled it off.
If you like my content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, notification bell. I would love to have you be part of my YouTube family. And if you missed our last video, it's up here. I'll have that link at the end of the video. Just click on it and it'll take you to our next video.
Let's bring in some more white vessels for our centerpiece of our coffee table. Now, this is a milk glass piece that I got from Whatnot. Don't forget, you can also shop with me on Whatnot. That I'm just going to fill up with some little sprigs of greenery, kind of evergreen pine, I guess you would call this. And I'm going to add that to my table, layering up first with this pretty vintage mirror to bring in that brass from our kitchen table to our dining table here, adding those cute little white vessels and pull in that brightness of that greenery, giving you still that winter feel with some color. Now this little piece I've had forever. I upcycled it and thrifted it, painted it, so it's one of my favorite pieces. Can't forget that ambiance with that candle and that little vintage shift candle snuffer. And then I add just a little stack of books here and a little cloche or a cheese dome. And here's our look, just Very simple, just sprucing it up with those bright greens, layering up that vintage vibe, the brass, as well as the wood tones all together, bringing in that different layering and pulls everything into a beautiful winter scene on my coffee table here. Shop more IOD, Fusion, and Dixie Belle products with my affiliate link to Julie's Designs and Signs. I have that link in the description, as well as supplies, home decor, and floral. A one-stop shop with a $9 flat rate shipping. So save and reuse my link and help my content here on YouTube. Thank you all for your support. So we have some of that greenery. So let's go ahead and make a wreath here. Taking these sprigs of pine once again. Now I lost some footage here. I just came with a grapevine wreath and I did not glue anything. I'm just simply tucking everything, because if you are like me and you like to change out your decor and use the same pieces to create with, I don't use any glue, and just a simple, easy way to transform your home with the seasons and just untuck all this greenery. So I'm just going to layer up the sprigs that came from our tree once again with those cute little berries. And then I decide to come in with a nest, since we're incorporating birds here on the table, and oh, you'll see it once again in another section of my house. So I'm just going to pull in more birds here for the living room, and I'm going to place this beautiful nest, removing all those bright Easter colors from the nest and pulling in some more pine and wire. I just use the wire here from the lights to attach everything to our wreath here. So we're just really upcycling our Christmas tree here. So I come in with those little bits of pine, pull that into our nest as well. And then I decide to pull off these little pine cones, attach those into the nest using the same wire that the pine cones come on. And then I'll simply just finish attaching the nest as well using more of that wire. Now I have one of those other birds like I mentioned before. I actually bought myself some of the same birds I was gifted. So we're going to pull in this same bird into this beautiful wreath here, going with those natural green elements, nature kind of look, and that little bird. Using that wire once again from our Christmas tree lights, tying that tightly, and then going around the base of our grapevine wreath and attaching our bird that way, tying that tight as well in a knot. See, in this way I can remove that bird after I'm using it in this wreath. And just to camouflage it a little bit more, I come in with a little bit more of our sprigs of pine from our Christmas tree. Layer that up, fluffing it out. And I know I'm a bit off camera here. I think I need a little bit more something here, but I couldn't quite figure out what I needed. I try to come in with this bow. It's a fabric bow. I end up not using it for this wreath, but I'm going to show you how I made it anyway. I'm just gathering up some scrap fabric pieces. This is just a piece of fabric that I coffee dyed. You see those little lace pieces were on our tree as bows. I'm just going to loop, you know, like a bow, or as I used to say, as a little pretzel through these little sticks here. You get this bow thing maker on Amazon. It's the same process I use making the bow on the table. It's just easier with a bow maker because everything stays in place and you don't have to worry about everything shifting and moving. Once again, just layering up all the ribbons that I want in here and strips of fabric, whatever it is you want, layer that up in there and then tie it in a knot in the center. Fluff out and work with your ribbon to put all the little trindles in its spots, and then you have this beautiful rag style, shabby style bow that we created. And I was looking for a spot all over this wreath here and I didn't quite find one that I wanted. I'm not sure if the wreath right here, I'm pulling it off in what I see in my head. I think I need to reposition this up, but we're going to leave it like this for now, and then I'll come back and fix it off camera or do whatever I need to do. But as for the bow, I didn't end up using it on the wreath, so we're just going to use that in a different project here. So like I said, I just end up leaving it as is. I put it on my mirror here on a hook, but if you notice, my bird and my nest are really too far apart and it needs something. So I'm going to just think about this piece and maybe later on I'll give you an update. But right now this is what we have, that natural woodsy kind of look here.
If you are interested in shopping with me, give me a follow over on my Facebook Marketplace as well as on Whatnot, which is a seller's app where you bid and purchase items.
We're going to move on to my Entryway coat holder here. Now this is what it currently looks like. I do have these natural kind of stockings here, and stockings to me say Christmas. So I'm kind of done with Christmas. So let's just move on to a winter theme here. Using those same natural cloths and softness of the lace and the doilies, coming back in and layering these up on this coat rack. So I come back in with this cute little basket and the little sprigs of the evergreen tree here, stems, and just pile in some rustic spindles. I brought in a cute little bird plaque here since we are using a little bit of that bird theme coming through our house. And then I had a garland layered up around here and I just wrapped that in a circle, almost making a very loose wreath against that. And then I decided to come in with that messy bow we created and just kind of tuck it into our piece. So it looks like the garland and the wreath has that cute little shabby bow on the top. Simple upcycle. I put in some more lace and added back in the everyday decor here, which I probably should have left out for this video, but you know, everyday items land on these pieces all decorated up. So this is what it looks like. Let me know what you think down in the comments of this piece. I think it's a very simple transition into winter, keeping with those natural tones that I love. So I couldn't leave that wreath like that. I really didn't like it. So we're going to go ahead and revamp it just a little bit. I'm bringing in some of that piece of that garland that I had over there on my front door. And I'm just going to add these softer pieces of greenery against that harsher pine look of our Christmas tree pieces. And then on some of those Christmas tree pieces, they have this really fake greenery that I didn't like in them. I guess that's just a filler for the tree. But I went ahead and chopped those off and just used really those nicer pine pieces. And here I'm just getting those pieces in and tucking them wherever I want. I did remove everything and restart it, but you guys know I forgot to turn on the camera. So here's what we're looking at here. I like this look better, and these are those green pieces at the bottom here that are a little bit more fake. So here's where I'm cutting off a lot of that pine and layering up in the surface, cutting off those berries, adding some pine cones, all from our tree, you guys, except for those softer pine pieces from our garland. And I just mixing those up together just makes it a more wispy, textured look here. I'm going to go around that nest as well, and then I add a few eggs in the center. And once again, I don't want to glue it, so I just come in with a piece of tape, put that in the inside, and then place my eggs on the top. I left out the bird here. I thought it was too much for the nest, too heavy for the nest. So here's the finished look, you guys, of our second try. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I think I love this one a lot better than the first one. More wispy, more natural, more of that wreath, grapevine wreath showing as well. Very foresty look here. And here's one more look at all those decor pieces.
Have come to the end of our video. I hope you got some inspiration for winter and bringing in a softer, elegant look to your home. Don't forget to keep those Christmas trees if you're getting new ones. All those little pieces come in handy for other home decor pieces. Thank you all for watching. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell on your way out, and check out this last video here. See you guys all on the next one. Bye, friends.